Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. We are here to talk about that Middlesbrough versus Chelsea FA Cup preview show. Obviously, that's what we were here to do. But obviously, there's been breaking news as well in regards to bids received to Raine Group. And obviously, there's no one else other than CFC players that will be joining me to break out the Saudi media bid, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about Todd Boehly as well. So make sure that you guys are smashing that like button. Smash it. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. And before we move forward, you know what we need to do? Let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. Chelsea playing Middlesbrough, 5:15 kickoff. We will be going through all the team news as it comes in. There might be some early team news as well. Pliers is with me anyway for us to check in on that. But we're going to start with the breaking that we've seen on Twitter. And myself, Pliers, after the show yesterday, to be fair, was waiting for that tweet from Nizar Kinsella. You know, just to confirm, was Raine Group one of the bidders? Were they? And he decided not to, supposedly because he went to the pub. It was his day off, so he wanted to get away from social media. But today he's actually announced that Saudi Media Group have put their bid in as well. So we're going to go through all of that. We're also going to talk a little bit about Todd Boehly. I can see there's a lot of people in the chat already. Big up to Sasuke in the house as well. He said there's still no word whether the bid has landed yet. I will update if I get something. Oh, wait, this is an old one. This is an old message. Decisions on that will be made as early as Monday morning. Yep, that's what we're hearing. That's what we're hearing. Big up to Gary. He's obviously mentioning that Jacob Steinberg has also came out and said that Saudi Media Group did indeed submit a bid before the deadline day. He's commenting from other individuals, which we're going to look at in a second. Big up to Vinny. Declared. Nice to see you in the house as well. Football style. Nice to see you as well. It was delivered an hour before the deadline. The intention wasn't to create a media storm, hence going quiet. Delivered 1 hour before the deadline. Raine has confirmed receipt. Have they confirmed? I mean, we're going to talk more about it.
Yeah, that was Nizar said that Raine confirmed they've received it, supposedly.
Fair enough. We are back in business, is what Jogo26 is saying as well. Saudi's in. Sasuke, it's nice to see you not saying Americans out. Now saying Saudi in, you know? So big up to you, my guy, as well. Orients is in the house as well. I don't think Roman will sell to a cronky type of owner. I mean, who to you is a cronky type of owner? Would be my question, Orients. HM says Matt Lord needs to answer for his sins. Really, I don't think so. I just think that he doesn't have enough info in regards to that bid itself to maybe share on it. But we're going to talk about more of that as well. Big up to CFC Matty, who was on the panel yesterday. Hope I'm not too late. I was geeking out to a video where they made a real lightsaber. Fuck's sake. Fair enough. Big up to Dusty Rhodes, declared deals. Nice to see you. Make sure I haven't missed anyone else. Top Bins, M3, Sosa, Q. Ben as well. Ben Farewell, Wheezy. Big up to him as well. AW Designer. Big up to all you guys. But we are going to delve straight into it because there's a lot to talk about in regards to Chelsea before we do the match preview on the Middlesbrough and Chelsea game. And it was the comments that came through from Nizar Kinsella. Eventually, we got there. We got the answer we wanted. He basically came out 54 minutes ago and announced saying that Saudi Media's bid has since been confirmed to me after doubts about its presence emerged. The bid described as competitive, and there's a hope that it gets shortlisted. It's possible decisions on that will be made as early as Monday morning. Now, just to talk on that, players, when they say shortlist, they're turning this around pretty quickly, aren't they? Are they literally going to narrow it down? Probably going through them now, but narrow it down as we speak all the way into May. I'd have thought it took a lot longer for them to sort of do this process. I know we've been told there's about 30 odd bids for them to go through, but shortlisting as soon as Monday morning, do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, what I think will happen is that obviously Raine will not just have one employee. You know, they'll probably have someone leading, but there'll probably be several people reviewing all the bids. Important to know how many there is, but we won't know exact amount. People have been saying sort of 25, 30. So I'm sure they'll be going through them today and tomorrow, and then probably on Monday or Tuesday we'll probably get more information on who's made it to the final shortlist. It's crazy. This is like a deadline, isn't it? It's like
the X Factor, isn't it?
It's really exciting, isn't it? It's like, oh, who's the final four now or the final three? It's really exciting, but yeah, I just hope they're in there. As I said, you know, there's a hope it gets shortlisted. Obviously, that's fairly straightforward, and the bid being described as competitive is interesting. Not quite exactly sure what that means. I mean,
it's got to be money, in it. It's got to be money. They've got, you know,
competitive is like, but competitive to me is not like fully in, like breaking like 3 billion or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of it's interesting, but we'll see.
Well, you know, the one thing that we're gonna go through the comments that Nizar Kinsella's put through in regards to this, but one of the comments he actually says is read the article from Goal, which we're gonna get to in a bit. He also says it was delivered an hour before the deadline. The intention wasn't to create a media storm, hence going quiet. Delivered 1 hour before the deadline. Raine Group have confirmed receipt. I kind of like that a bit, players. Don't get me wrong. I like the whole thing of them just not wanting it to be such a big thing. Like, and I can imagine you said it yesterday actually on the show. You said that Saudis, as a rule, would like to do things under the, you know, in the dark in many ways. You know what I mean, and try and not have too much publicity on what may be quite a big bid, from what we understand. If it's deemed to be competitive, I do think it's not only the money, but I also think it's probably what is to be offered on top of that, and what their long-term project maybe is for the football club. These are things that we're going to learn. I think we're going to learn massively next week anyway on that one. But these are more or less the details of the Saudi media bid, now up to Raine. And then he said, thanks to those calling me nonsense and harassing me for the last 12 hours after I had a rare evening in the pub. So, you know, when he was getting tagged by me, LC Pies and CFC Daily and all of these other guys asking for a Nizar for an update, his phone must have been going off. Must have been like, what's going on? Just want one night of peace. But picked the wrong night, really, didn't he, Pies, to be fair? Why would you do that on the deadline of bids? You know, it's a bit of an unusual one. But in terms of the Goal article, because it is quite interesting. It says inside Saudi media's Chelsea takeover bid, renew Rudiger's contract and rebuild Stamford Bridge. Goal can exclusively disclose the details of the offer for the Blues put together by Saudi Arabian group spearheaded by, I don't want to even try to say his name, Pies. You want to do it? Mohamed Al-Kahuji? Is that right? Al-Kahuji.
I was going with Al-Kahuji, I think, but I mean, I don't know, bro, to be honest with you.
Saudis, no offense. I know you're not watching it, Mohamed, but no offense. I can't say your name, bro. Saudi media's bid to buy Chelsea includes plans to redevelop Stamford Bridge and renew contracts of key players such as Antonio Rudiger and Sergio Aspilicueta. Now, Pies, is that any different from any other of the owners that potentially may take over? Would that not be the, you know, I keep saying the short-term thing, you know, which is sorting out the contracts, which is the big thing. The Stamford Bridge redevelopment thing's going to take time. I don't expect that to just kick off straight away. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of like renewal of contracts, what makes him different to Todd Boehly, Nick Candy, the Ricketts family? Like that don't really tell me that puts him at the top of the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting that they obviously, whoever got this info to Nizar obviously told him that would be one of their priorities. We've not really heard much on the contracts in terms of what the other owners' plans are, in terms of players and all that. So I think that was one more for the fans, because look, this guy who's heading the bid is a fan himself. And I think, you know, these guys are not stupid. They check social media. I mean, one of his friends, who's obviously another Saudi, is constantly on Twitter liking Chelsea's posts. Like, they see that the fans want Rudiger to stay. And most importantly, they know he needs to stay. Same with, or less so with Aspilicueta, but that's like a big thing if you can re-sign Aspi, like leadership, you know. So that would be, I'd love both to stay. I really, really would, to be honest with you. And I think that's a good thing to put in there and to forward to Raine, because it shows your intentions that, you know, if we get in straight away, that's one of the first things we're doing, is we're working on the squad first and foremost, you know.
100%, 1,000,001%. And Rudiger for me is a priority that whoever comes in has to get sorted. Aspie may be another, and then it's going to be about, backing Tuchel. For me, the next big thing is showing that you're here to support the manager that's currently running, and he deserves it, Tuchel. He deserves all the backing in the world in the way that he's had to deal with everything that's been going on as well. But Sasuke with a donation says, still no American owners. All right, fuck Todd Boehly. I just said it. Hashtag Saudis in is what he's saying there. Again, thank you for that donation, my bro. Thank you very much for that. Going back to this article here. So then it says the group isn't just concerned with ensuring that the men's senior squad continues to compete for the biggest trophies either. Saudi media also intends to continue investing heavily in London's club academy at Cobham training ground, as well as the women's team. Again, wouldn't you expect many owners to do that? I know it sounds like I'm trying to be a dimmer here, but I'm just trying to see what stands out about it.
But it could be the level of investment that they're willing to put in. It's completely different. Like for the stadium, they could have a high level investment or they could have a smaller one, but with a nicer plan. Like, I don't know. Like it's sure, some owners may not invest in the academy. They might not. Like I don't know. Like it's going to be different for everyone. But the fact is, Saudis have a lot of money, and it could just come down to the fact that figures. How much are they going to put in? I think something else in this article says they were planning to build academies in the Middle East. Like that, that sort of exposes you to a bigger. That'd be nice weather. But no, I mean, that sort of exposes the brand even more if you can build academies out in the Middle East in other countries as well. Like that's huge. And when I initially read this, I just got so excited because every box is ticked in this article, and there's probably even more they plan to do. Like this is probably just a brief. It's ridiculous.
That's like
you know what I mean? Like, God help us if they revealed their transfer targets. You know what I mean? Everyone would go nuts.
Well, listen,
I'm sure they've got big plans.
I think in terms of transfer targets, I think they're the type of people just to say, right, how do we make ourselves better? And then people that are within the football club, the people that are, whether it's the recruitment, the negotiator, if it's Marina, for example, I think they will have the big responsibilities of maybe setting the targets. I just think that this Saudi media group will back it. Like, I just don't see them going, nah, we won't get it. I think they'll want us to be competitive. I think they'll want us to be the best in the world. And it also enhances them as a group, as well, seeing that Chelsea Football Club have become so successful and continue to push forward if they go down that route as well. And there's a lot. There's just so many positives with Saudi Media Group. I am trying to find a negative, I'm trying to find something that maybe Raine Group have seen and we don't know about yet, where they're like, no, the only thing we can maybe think of is just the slow process of getting it signed across, maybe compared to the Bowleys and the Nick Candys, for example. That may be an issue. But if the football club itself, like Bruce Buckhoff sitting there saying it's not an issue because we can get ourselves to the end of the season, it's not a problem, then I don't see again where the negativity lies with this bid, But then the same could probably be said about Todd Boehly, and we're going to talk about Todd Boehly after this quickly before we start talking about the preview as well. Who is behind the Saudi media bid? The man spearheading it, as we know, Mohamed Al-Kahuji, who runs Saudi Media Group and is the CEO. We know all this parent company, Engineer Holding Group, which was founded by his father. He spent time living in the United Kingdom, where he attended Cass Business School and spent 3 years working as Deutsche Bank. He was at the Chelsea 3-1 win over Arsenal in 2017, blah, 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 blah. There he is, that famous picture that we see all over social media of him. Al-Kahuji and his children are Chelsea fans. We know about that as well. So the emotional connection would be there from him. If he's the spearhead, the leader of it, then again, we might get that emotional attachment. Not only will we have the financial backing, we'll have that guy that maybe has the club's best interests to heart more so because of the connection and understands the business. Maybe not understands it from a financial standpoint, but understands how Chelsea have operated, how they are, what they're about, their history. There's a lot of things that maybe tick the boxes in many ways. However, he primarily supports Saudi Arabia outfit Al Nassr, from whom he built a new state-of-the-art stadium in Missoul Park. How wealthy are they? We know how wealthy they are. I mean, the company turns around 1 billion, which is about 770 million a year, giving it a scope to be a powerful player in English football. I mean, if they're turning over 1 billion pies a year, I don't think really the biggest and best footballers in this world is an issue for them, is it? I'm talking about the Mbappes, the Haalands. If we were really that serious in bringing someone like that in, we seriously have some serious money if we get signed by Saudi.
100%, and also the fact that there's supposedly other private Saudi backers. Like, this still goes through. Like, it's not just the head Al-Kahuji, it's obviously other guys that we don't even know about as well that is going to go into it as well. So I think what makes this different than the other consortiums is I'm just pretty sure these Saudis are just going to want to chuck money at it because it's like their big thing. Whereas with the Americans and like Hans-Jörg Weiss and stuff like this, like Hans-Jörg Weiss already knows someone that's kind of tight with money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not just, you know, like it's other consortiums, for example, like take Nick Candy and the South Koreans, right? I doubt they're all just going to chuck money at it just to make us successful. Like, there's going to be some sort of, basically, Saudis don't care about profits because they're minted. And even though Americans are as well, they care about profits. Look, Todd Boehly has got an investment firm in it. They want money back. Like, it's not just, you know what I mean? Like, Saudis won't be doing this whole strategy where it's like, you know, spend so much every like it'd be practically like Roman in the sense of just like we'll just continue to spend a lot of money. I feel like, and I know we've been self-sustainable over the last few years, but still, like if you look at the overall course of Roman, he did spend a lot in the early days. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here if it goes through.
100%. Rolling Stone says a negative in regards to Saudi media group is morally corrupted British media who are on board American bids in exchanging for shares and backhands. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I don't really want to comment on it, but again, I'm not going to lie, it wouldn't surprise me to a degree. We're going to talk about Todd in a bit, guys. I see people asking about Todd as well, but in terms of wealth, we know I don't want to delve into it too much, but it also says what would a Saudi Arabian bid? Would a Saudi Arabian bid be blocked? And it says Chelsea have been discouraged politically sensitive parties from bidding for the club, but Saudi media does not believe it falls in that category, which we've already been brought into it as well. Unlike Newcastle United, who are owned by the Saudi Arabian state via the Public Investment Fund, Man City or PSG, Saudi media is an entirely private entity with no direct ties to the particular ruler or government. Well, there you go. If anything, Pies, that makes it even more legit. So there's still no negativity here, is there? Because the fact that they're a private entity, the fact that there's no link to them to the royal family, you know, and the government already making it clear that they won't sell to someone with maybe the same issues that we may have in the next couple of years of what we're having with Putin, if you know, with all the wars and stuff. So I think it's a big green tick, if you want my honest opinion, massive green tick for them. Saudi Arabia's record women's rights, in particular, is concerned to many civil rights groups, but SMC employs a large number of women, while the country has made reforms that have resulted in the female. And it kind of makes sense. The fact that they are very big when it comes to employing large numbers of women, it answers why they're probably going to look to invest and help brand the women's football a lot more as well, which is something that was spoken about as well. Their plans for Chelsea, well, it says they are ready to tackle the major challenge of rebuilding Stamford Bridge, which would cost upwards of around 1.5 to 2 billion. They do that in a year. So again, I don't think that's a problem for them. You know, I'm not going to delve into because it's just too much here. Some of it I just can't even, it's not even worth reading. I mean, you guys can check it out on goal.com, but Chelsea have already seen their principal shirt sponsors, telecoms companies, suspended their deals with the club, but Saudi media are confident they can secure a bigger and better agreement. For me personally, Pies, after everything that's gone on with Free on Hyundai, that kind of like is a bonus to me. The fact that you've got a media company that are probably in talks with massive sponsoring companies across the world that could probably use their contacts to give us a better sponsor. What do you think?
Yeah. I agree, to be honest. I think it mentioned that Neom is one of them, I think, in Saudi Arabia that they work with. They're like a big one for sponsor, NEOM, I believe.
Right.
And yeah, there's a couple others. I can't remember the other one I think I saw. But yeah, I mean, again, in their brief was that, you know, that they feel like they can attract the biggest and best sponsors. So Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, we're getting to the other side. We're going to quickly talk about Todd Boehly for the next 10, 15 minutes after this. And then obviously in between that, there's going to be some breaking news before the team news, which is around sort of 4:15 time. We'll bring that to you guys as soon as it comes out, and we'll get it up on the formation, and we'll talk about the game with Pies as well. I read this, and we're going to get to this football style because I think it might be on Pies' comments anyway, one of his tweets that he put out. But I think in terms of that, I think that's it. There isn't anything else. Yeah, that's it. So look, as it stands, guys, Saudi Media Group are one of the bidders involved in trying to potentially be the new owners of Chelsea Football Club. If it does get moved as quick as Monday in terms of putting the quick list through, then I'm sure we'll find out as well. It'll be interesting to see who the 3 or 4 are. For me, 2 are a certain. I mean, Saudi Media Group has to be a certain. Todd Boehly has to be a certain. Nick Candy, I would probably say he's a certain Pies, just purely because of the investment that he has back behind him, the South Korean woman. It's a lot of money behind her as well, isn't there? Than what she's got forward. It's just the Ricketts family, isn't it? Are they going to put them up to the top? I don't know. And you've got obviously haven't you, as well, and them lot with their bids as well. But what about just quickly, Muslim Bayrak? What happened there? What happened
Did you not see my tweet last night?
I saw it yesterday, but
bro, it's so funny, bro. I can't believe this guy will always be remembered in the Chelsea community. What a troll. He missed the deadline because of his lawyers. That's just so funny. This guy was not serious.
How can you miss a deadline because of your lawyers? That makes no sense. Like, in terms of timing, I know they're 3 hours ahead there. Yeah. Has he not been looking at the time? Has he been caught by the time difference in the UK and Turkey? I don't know, man. I find it really weird. I knew it was a PR stunt from him anyway, to be honest. I said, even being Turkish myself, I said, he ain't serious. He genuinely ain't serious. He was just too much in the public eye. There's no way in hell Raine would have liked that in the first place. But we'll go to your comments on Todd Boehly. Obviously, the Athletic were the guys that put it forward. But Todd Boehly is described by the Athletic that if he takes over, the focus would be on data, sensible investment, a desire to win, but not to blow the budget. Now, Pies, what do you think he means by that when he says data, sensible investment?
Kind of like Liverpool, I guess. Kind of like, kind of like Liverpool, maybe scouting sort of systems that are implemented, maybe modern systems where you find players that kind of like a Luis Diaz, where you can get for like 40 million instead of, I don't know, for example, spending 80 million on Mahrez or something like that. You know what I mean? Kind of just remaining sensible, like maybe getting 2 players for the price of 1 big player, stuff like that.
So basically, they're not going to kind of do what Chelsea have done, where they go and spend 100 million on Lukaku without actually fully understanding.
Yeah, I don't think that wouldn't happen under Boehly. I don't think if they spent huge on a player, it would be like not a big thing because he's done it before, but more calculated. Like, with Chelsea, bro, they just. You remember when we was looking for Alisson, the next day we signed Kepa or something for 72 million. Like, that ain't gonna happen because that's not calculated. We've done a lot of panic buys, Drinkwater, Barkley, Zappacosta. You know what I mean? So in a way, that's very good. But also flip it on the other side. Who he's got involved is a lot of investment people and things like this, which is not really great. And his partners aren't football related. Vices and Clear Lake is an investment firm. The Jonathan Goldstein is only to build the stadium. So, I mean, there's not really a lot of knowledge in here. There's a lot of business knowledge, which is why I'm worried. Not a lot of football knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I don't see it being such a bad thing. Some people are looking at that and saying, oh, we're going to turn into Arsenal. He's not going to spend money. He just might mean that it might work in our favour because, again, it might just look at the squad. It might look at the manager. He might get that, obviously, the manager's more involved in the signings in the future. I think it means more sort of looking at the profile, understanding the profile, and then obviously seeing from an investment standpoint if it's worth taking the risk. Because when you're giving these contracts to certain individual players, you take into consideration their ages, where they're at the stages of that point. They could be one of the biggest players in Europe at the age of 28. You want to give them a 5-year contract, knowing that they're going into maybe there's just a lot more that he can, not say he can bring, but he thinks we can use to maybe try and make the right decisions so that we don't have the problems like you said with Kepa, Barkley. Looks like Romelu Lukaku as well, doesn't it? So 100%. I think it's I think it's I think it's not a bad thing. People shouldn't look at it as a bad thing in many ways. Boehly is understood to be opting for a more modest upgrade of Stamford Bridge, which costs. I think they all are players again. I think the one thing that I think every owner that's put a bid forward can probably say they're going to do is provide this football club with a new stadium, an upgraded stadium. It's just how quick will it be turned around, and will they be able to get the permission to do so? Because I just feel with the stadium thing, before we move on quickly, that I think we will actually have to move out of area. And I don't mean 5 minutes up the road. I think we will have to physically move out of where we are and maybe be under a new postal. I don't know what you feel about this, the bridge.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I mean, there's not been a lot of mention about that. I think all the mention is to redevelop the current ground where it is, but I'm not sure exactly on the plans, and it's not that detailed yet.
How do they redevelop that ground with what's around it though? It's just so.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how are they going to get people out of shops? How are they going to get people that are living in homes to relocate? How are they going to get? Do you know what I mean? Like, the only way of building this big stadium that potentially we want with the extra seats is to for me is to relocate. I mean, I've been to the bridge a number of times. I'm sure you have as well. Like, we need more seats. You know what it's like getting tickets. It's hard with 40-odd thousand people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not easy, and from a branding perspective, it makes more sense to try and look to do that as well. We haven't had any news yet in regards to team news, have we, Pies? It's 4:00. Nothing's come through yet.
1 minute. Yeah, he told me that it's going to be in midfield. I reckon it's going to be Loftus-Cheek. I'm not going to lie.
Cheek. Sal's out, isn't he? He's got COVID, so he won't be in.
Yeah, I think it might. If he's doing a midfield position, it's probably Loftus-Cheek, I'm guessing. There's been some from Jacobs Ben, who originally reported the Saudi media bids. I just posted it. Apparently, the offer remains at, $3.5 billion. But supposedly there's a current difference of 750k. And I think this is why Boehly upped his bid late last night, personally. Because if you think about it, if that's true, I think they're battling it out. But
I think the reason I brought Todd Boehly and Saudi in more is because I think it is between them two. I think it's already been narrowed down. Personally, I know they're saying that they're going to shortlist it. I think the shortlist is to maybe have a variety, maybe throw Nick Candy in or whatever. But I do think the way it's going, that it's going to be a battle between Todd Boehly and Saudi media. But in terms of a financial battle between them, how the hell is Todd Boehly beating Saudi media? Yeah, I just can't see that, players, physically, and you know how competitive.
It depends how much they both want it, and also,
true.
The thing is, that who he's got involved now, that Clear Lake Capital, they've got what was it, 40 billion in assets or something stupid. I can't really find their net worth and something like that. So I think they're both going to have a lot of investment behind them. And it is Loftus-Cheek starting, by the way, in the field. Thought it would be.
There you go, guys. Breaking news for you on today's game, which we'll be previewing next before the team news comes out as well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek starts today in midfield. So, do you know what? I don't think there's much more to say. I mean, players, is there anything else you want to say in regards to the news on bids? I think it's just a waiting game now, isn't it? We know that Saudi media are in. Looks like it could be them against Todd Boehly. Is there anything else you want to say before we kick on to the preview?
Just hope for the best. I'm hoping for the best, really. Yeah, just wait another couple of days and hopefully some more info will come out.
Well, CFC mate is saying, what about the bids that haven't been named yet? Well, some of them
also
have already
interesting,
been named.
Yeah. There could be a few behind the scenes. Yeah, there's a few that have been named. Sir Martin Broughton and co. You got Nick Candy, few others, but there's definitely going to be a lot of bids that haven't been named yet.
100%. Okay. Just looking at the Formula One results. Sorry. Dear me, Loftus Ball. Yeah, look, we're going to get to this, guys. We're going to get this. Let's go into the preview because it is an hour and 15 away. The actual team news will be out in 15 minutes. So before we actually get that, I want to kind of delve into what we assume the lineup's going to be before it happens, and we'll try and fly through it quickly, Pies, because it is 4:02 and it probably come out.
Breaking news again: Lukaku starts up front.
So, all right, is it a 4-2-2-2 or a 3-4-3 for you then?
I think it'll be a 3-4-3. I think he's going to rest Havertz personally.
I mean, you do know we've got an international break after this, haven't we? So
yeah. He's not been called up for Belgium, though, so I'm guessing that's why he's probably playing. Havertz is going to play quite a bit for...
because he's been shit. That's why. Loftus Cheek. Let's put him in as well. All right, let's stick to a 3-4-3. Guys in the chat, get involved as well. Let us know what you think. So the confirmed news is Lukaku and Loftus Cheek will be starting today. So we're going to quickly predict who we think may start as well. And then once it comes out, we'll then re-update it and we'll talk about why we've set up like this and what we're expecting from the game today as well. So, in goal, are we going with Kepa?
Yeah, I think Kepa. Actually, I don't know. Would you say if Kepa would start in the early because usually he does. Don't know actually.
I don't think you'll rest Mendy because Mendy. Actually, I think Mendy's going to play because Mendy.
Yeah, I think he would have said if Kepa was going to start because usually he does something that people don't really expect.
But Mendy doesn't. He's not. He's staying, isn't he? He's not going away for internationals. From what I understand, I think he'll be here. I don't think after the AFCON, I don't think there was anything left for them, if that makes sense, in terms of games. But anyway, we'll see. Back three, mate, because is Christensen fit or is he out? He's out, isn't he?
Yeah, he's out, yeah.
So if we go, what, Rudiger? Do you think Rudiger starts or do you think Sarr starts?
On the stream yesterday I was on, I put Rudiger on the right-hand side with... who did I put in the middle?
Silva,
and then I put Sarr on the left.
True. That makes more
sense.
Because I
think with Chalobah's form, it's kind of like, I don't know if he'll start him. He might do, but...
No, but that makes more sense, though, doesn't it, really? Thiago Silva and then Sarr. I can see that. Now you've said it. I can see that. So Sarr, Silva, Rudiger. We know Loftus-Cheek's in the middle. I mean, Aspie's playing wing back, isn't he? For sure. He has to be.
Yeah. I think it'll be Kovacic in the middle as well.
Kovacic, yeah. Well, he got taken off, didn't he? So, yeah, I agree with that as well. What about this area? Because Alonso, he was shit last time around. But, I mean,
I think he'll start.
Kennedy?
Nah, I think it'll be Alonso.
He's just inevitable, isn't he? He's just... Who plays behind Lukaku, mate?
Pulisic and Ziyech for me.
The thing is, for me, I don't think Ziyech plays if it's a free.
See, I actually agree with that. However, I think he's going to start because Mount's played quite a lot recently and Ziyech hasn't really had many minutes. But I do agree he's much better in a 4.
All right. I think... Could Timo Werner get in? Could we see...
Oh, God, I hope not. Jesus. Please, no. Don't make me watch Werner again. Please, Tuchel.
That makes about.
Please, Tuchel.
Please, Tuchel. Just pray to Tuchel, please. Guys in the chat, who's your front three? Tell us. While we're waiting for the team news, tell us who your front three is as well. Over 150 of you guys here. Make sure you're smashing that like button, though, guys. Let's try and get this over 100 likes, please. I know we've not got enough likes as it is. Bex is saying this lineup makes my eyes bleed. Long day. Defensively, we're all right. I mean, Alonso, Loftus-Cheek.
The attack's all right. I think it's probably just Alonso really in there for me. Other than that, I think it's decent.
See, Pulisic, Havertz, and Ziyech is what football stars. But Lukaku's confirmed starting, guys. Lukaku has been confirmed that he is starting. Him and Loftus-Cheek are confirmed. Christensen needs to be fit for Madrid. Jeez, I swear he's made of plastic. I don't know what's going on with Christensen these days, Pies. Like, how is a guy always injured? It's mad.
Yeah, agreed.
Jim, drop Silva and put Timo in 4-4-2. What, with Alonso as a left back? I don't see that happening. Vale?
Me personally, I don't want to ever watch Alonso ever again.
Listen, you're not alone. I think that's like 95% of the
And
of the fan
Werner,
base.
both of them. Jeez. I'd rather give Vale minutes than Werner.
I don't know what's happened to like it was weird with Werner because even though he was annoying, he'd always still be involved. But now he's just not getting involved. He's just disappears. Like I don't know what's happened to him, man. I really genuinely don't know what's happened to him as a player. But whoever we put out today, we should still have a good enough squad to beat Middlesbrough. I mean, Middlesbrough are in good form, aren't they? As well, to be fair. But quarterfinal, we've got to take it serious. I expect a strong team. A lot of people saying Pulley, Havertz, Mount. Mount's got to start. We need someone to press. What's your thoughts on Mount, Pies, at the moment? Because some people just think he's just out of form, not really
hit and
playing
miss.
well.
He's not been as good this season for me. I think a bit hit and miss. And if you look at his goal contributions, a lot of them have come against Watford, Norwich, teams like that. Yeah, he's definitely not been as good this season. Like last season, Player of the Year, right? For me, he's not up there this season. Not even in the top 4 for me.
What? I haven't asked you this yet, but who do you think is Chelsea's Player of the Year?
Silva, no doubt. Silva for me, 100%.
Silva, I agree. 100% Silva. 100% Silva.
He's too good, bro. I had Silva, Rudiger, Kovacic as my top 3 so far.
That Mendy. Nah,
yeah, I had him 4th, but I think the top 3 are Rudiger, Silva, Kovacic. I think overall, if you look at consistency, they've been our most consistent players and performed the most. I don't know how anyone could argue with that, actually.
Thiago Silva is the glue of our defence. I think Rudiger's great. Don't get me wrong, I do. I think he's in world-class form and he's important. But I just feel like when Thiago Silva ain't in the team, we're just not... It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's the organisation side of it and not just that. The amount of blocks this guy does, bro. Like, the amount of times he gets us out of trouble as well. Like, he's just generally just always in the right position all the time. And we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him after next year. I'm telling you now. We're never going to find a player like him coming in again and doing what he's doing at that level. I just think he's a dying breed of defender in football at the moment. And, yeah, we have to say, I mean, Kovacic has had a good season, hasn't he? But it seems like Tuchel doesn't favour him, though, players at the moment. It seems like Jorginho and Kante seem to be getting more games at the moment. I don't really understand why, because I think Kovacic is so pivotal to any of the formations we play. 4, 3. I mean, he shouldn't have been taken off the last game round, for me. He left Jorginho and Kante on the pitch. I mean, I don't think... And I try and stay away from talking too much about Jorginho because some people think I hate him. I don't hate Jorginho. I just don't think he needs to play every game. I think it very depends on who we're up against. And I do think he's very limited in his way. And I just don't find him a DM. And this is why I think going into the summer, we need to actually find someone that can be a DM, and actually sit. Not to say sell Jorginho, but I just don't feel like he's the answer. I don't know how you feel when it comes to him just sitting in front of the defence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, to be fair. It's like, with our midfield pivots, it's like, for me, Kovacic has been the best this season, but he doesn't fit with certain players. Like, when you play Jovicic, as people call it, I feel like on transitions, we're worse than when, obviously, without having Kante in there. Then when we play Kovacic and Kante, they're 2 box-to-boxes, and none of them really sit. When we play, and I think that's why he plays Jorginho and Kante, is because like Jorginho can sit, Kante can go forward. Then you'd say, well, why wouldn't you just play Kovacic and Jorginho? But like, it's one of those, isn't it? It's weird. It's hard. It's really hard.
It's weird because if you want someone to be progressive, like you said, moving forward, I don't think Kante is the guy. I think Kovacic is better at doing that, especially with his final ball. But Kante is just very good when he's higher up the pitch, pressing, winning the ball back. I just think when we have the ball, I think Kovacic is better when making decisions. When, do you know what I mean? Breaking the lines and making the right decision when it comes to making the pass to the forward line. So I think he's got, I don't. Do you like the Kante and Kovacic pivot when they play together?
No, I don't like it. I've not liked it. I never. I feel like there's always too much open space. It's good going forwards. Don't get me wrong, because they're both quite progressive and decent dribblers. But for Kovacic, he's an outstanding dribbler, I should say. But defensively, it's just like they push up both so much. Like, there's not enough balance in there for me.
Why don't you just ask one of them to hold though? Like, I would just tell Kante to hold. I don't get why you don't do that. Just say, Kante, you just do what Jorginho does, which is just hold and support and break down. There's no one better than Kante at breaking play down. Do you know what I mean? And just getting stuck in and winning the balls back and doing his bit. Just being Kante. And look, the Champions League draw, Real Madrid, maybe Man City, and then maybe Bayern Munich or Liverpool. Like, N'Golo Kante for me has to play them games. He has to, but we need the N'Golo Kante that we got last Champions League when we won it. We need them kind of performances. So it's all interesting stuff, but we've got 2 minutes, mate. 2 minutes until the actual team news. And then we can talk about the team lineup and what we agree, disagree with, or how we feel that we're going to play with that lined up as well. And then we're about, an hour away, guys, to kick off as well. Probably be here for another half hour going through all of this with you guys. And if there's any other breaking news in between that, because it seems like there's been a habit recently, Piers, that every time we kick off, something breaks in regards to owners. Like it happened the last game round, didn't it, with Saudi media and stuff. So there's always something going on at our football club at the moment. But guys, over 170 of you here, make sure you smash the like button, please. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV. We're on our road to 5K subscribers, so please make sure you subscribe and get the likes up over 100. Follow CFC Pies as well. Check him out on Twitter if you haven't done already. CFC Mates is the unpopular opinion, but I will say it anyway. Pulisic has done a lot to deserve the number 10. Personally, I can't see him leaving and we get Rafinha. What do you think, Pies? Pulisic's done a lot to deserve the number 10 or not?
I mean, in terms of big moments over his Chelsea career, yeah, but he's still not been consistent. Like in terms of, he doesn't play all the time, does he? A lot of that's down to injuries, but yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really take. I don't know. I don't really take. Is he talking about shirt numbers? He is, isn't it?
He's talking about the number 10. Yeah, he just feels like.
I don't know. I don't really take too much stock into shirt numbers as others do. I mean, Barkley got Lampard's number, didn't he? So.
Well, didn't Willian have number 10 for a year, if you remember, before he left? I think he did, didn't he? I don't know why.
Just send the team, bro.
We got the team.
It's a back four. It's 4-3-3. Wow.
All right, I've got it up anyway. So I'm going to update it on here, guys. We are going to update it. So it's a 4. So this is the breaking team news for the Middlesbrough game. So it's a 4-3-3. We have the likes of Mendy in goal. We have Aspie, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and Sarr, which is what we guessed, isn't it? Pretty much, but not in a. So basically, it's like that. So you've got the right players on the pitch. It's just like that.
Yeah. And Mount's playing.
Yeah, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, and Mount in the middle. So you get rid of Mr. Alonso, and you throw Mason Mount, which doesn't surprise me though, Piers. I'm not going to lie. I thought Mason Mount may get in the team. And then up front, you have got Ziyech, Lukaku, Pulisic, which is what Piers said. So I think we were pretty close, mate. It was only one out, weren't we? One player out, the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm surprised he played a back four. I'm not going to lie.
Why has he done that, do you think? What do you think is his... I know it's very hard to understand half the time what Tuchel's doing, but...
I have no idea.
What do we get from this system looking at it? Because I don't know how Middlesbrough line up. It'd be good to see what their formation is.
I actually think Loftus-Cheek will be sitting.
Yeah.
By the way, I think he'd go in the middle.
I think Kovacic should be on the left.
Yeah, there will be the 2-8s. I think it'll be like that. I'm just surprised he's playing Sarr left back and Aspie right back.
Yeah.
But I guess it could make sense because Middlesbrough do play like a 3-5-2 usually, and if you match formations or do similar, sometimes it's quite hard. So to go with like a 4-3-3, it's more attacking, right? To get at them.
When we played Newcastle at home, if I'm right in saying, did they not play a 3-5-2 and they just pressed? And we had this system. We had played with the 4 at the back and we just struggled to get out. Like, I'm not saying Middlesbrough or Newcastle, but I think teams are starting to think that that's the way to beat Chelsea. Just, keep the press on, man mark, follow your player, don't give them space, press high. And look, it'll be interesting to see, because if they do a low block and they just sit and they allow us time, I think we'll beat them all day. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to try and come out and have a go. They're at home, and they're in good form as well, Middlesbrough as well, So, they're going to have a go. It's a strong team though by Chelsea, isn't it? But I mean, you can't really fault the lineup in terms of strength. But Romelu Lukaku, mate, he's found himself on the bench since Havertz has been playing so well the last 5-6+ games. Is this his time to sort of step up a little bit and maybe? I know it's
for sure. This is a huge game for Lukaku, bro. Like you think of, he's not going to get many more opportunities after this till the end of the season if he plays really bad, in my opinion. Because Tuchel is very, very, and rightly so, liking Havertz. So this is a huge game for him.
I just think that he needs to, when I've watched him, and I know I've spoke with you a lot in regards to Lukaku, when I watch him, I just feel that in most of the games that he plays where he leads the line, we tend to play with 10 men. I just find him very non-existent. Doesn't work hard enough. His movement's not good enough. And he's very easy to mark. Like, he needs to adapt his game. He needs to adapt his game to the way we play. And I don't feel like he wants to do that. Maybe he changes now. Maybe sitting on the bench and teaching him a lesson of what Tuchel's done maybe gets more out of him, and maybe we'll see a better Lukaku today. But I agree with you. I don't think he's got many chances left. And if I'm a new owner coming in and I see that my most expensive player is sitting on the bench and he cost us the club 100 million, all right, it didn't cost him 100 million, but 350k a week on the books, there's going to be big question marks over this guy. And I don't know. Do I think he can do it? I don't know is the answer to that. I hope he can, because he is a goal scorer. He can score goals. We've seen it, 300+ goals. He's done it. He's just not doing it here again. He's just not doing it here. And I don't know what it is, Pies. It seems like we just have a curse when it comes to strikers. I genuinely think we should just give up on them, and just concentrate on false nines.
Bro, I said this in the summer. I was like, if we get Lukaku, who scored 100+ Premier League goals, and he flops for us, we should just literally give up. Like, he's almost as close to a guarantee you can get in the Premier League as any striker. And, he's not done great. Like, it's just ridiculous. What is this? We have some mad curse. Everyone's talking about Harry Kane. Remember Harry Kane didn't score for ages for Spurs at the start of the season? That'd be the same with us, I swear to God. Everyone's just cursed. I give up.
But you just think we should give up entirely on...
Bro, just sign false nines or something. We can't give a striker and give him a number 9. It's cursed. I'm telling you. It's awful.
I agree. I just think we, to be honest, for my honest opinion, I just think our recruitment, again, rushed. I think we left it too late. I think we left it too long with the Haaland thing to make a decision. And then it got to a point where we were stuck with limited options, and Lukaku was one of them, even though at the point he didn't actually want to leave the football club. He even came out and said that if Inter Milan would have given him that extension or given him what he wanted, he'd maybe not walked out the door. And I don't know. I just don't know whether his mind's here. That's the thing with him. And it's going to be interesting to see today, like we said, if you can step up, if you can work hard, if you can if you're not getting the ball, make things happen for yourself, like Harry Kane does, like a Benzema does. Like these type of players, they make things happen for themselves. He needs to do that. He can't just always think that he's going to be spoon-fed, and I don't know. We'll have to see. I know Nathaniel's a massive Lukaku fan, massive Lukaku fan. So he's happy that he's playing. If someone was to include Lukaku out, I would back him. Fuck's sake, declared.
Fuck's sake.
That will defo change opinion if Lukaku scores against Madrid. Look, it would not surprise me if Lukaku just comes alive in the Champions League and ends up banging past Real Madrid, past Man City.
That would very much surprise me since he's got an awful record in big games, actually.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that. He has, isn't he? Do you know what, Pies? There's one thing I've been trying to find out from Lukaku for time. I've been trying to find a breakdown of all of these goals that he scored, because when you talk to the Lukaku stands, they go, but he scored 300 goals. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but how many of them are against like these low parties? How many of them are actually against real big teams in important games?
Actually, I think I can find. I think I did a tweet on that actually before.
I can't find it. I've been looking for it for years. Because I wanted to use it for a show. For people keep asking me, I just can't find it.
Let me find it. I swear I did. I know I did something.
If you've got it, let's get it up. This will be good.
Bro, what do I type? I did it a couple of months ago. Before we played Spurs, I think I did it. Let me find it.
It's all right. Have a look. You got time. Smash the likes, people. Please do that. Let's get this over 75 likes. We should be over that.
Okay, here we go. I got it.
200 people here as well.
If you go on like Twitter and type in advanced search, you can find it. Or just like go on my profile and search my tweets, and then
in your profile. Yeah.
Yeah, you can like search for individual words, can't you? I think.
Where's what at the top is it? No, that's no.
It's got like a little magnifying glass. Should have on the profile, top right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and then type in quotation marks space big six quotation marks. Should be able to find it. If not, I can just DM it to you. Actually, it's probably easier, isn't it?
Just DM it. Yeah, DM it to me. Yeah. DM it. Here we go, guys. The long wait of trying to find the breakdown of Romelu Lukaku's 300 goals has come to an end. Oh, right. These are goals against big teams. Yeah.
Big six. Yeah.
Big six.
Just puts it into more context of how he's actually done over his career.
Okay. Are you ready? He's ready for this. We'll come back to this in a second. So Romelu Lukaku versus the big six. Man City, he's played 18 fucking games and he scored 5 goals. Arsenal, he's played 16 games and scored 4. Man United, he's played 13 games and scored 3. Liverpool, he's played 18 games and scored 5. Chelsea, 13 games, 3 goals. Spurs, 16 games and 1 goal.
That's against Chelsea, by the way, not for us, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, that's against Chelsea.
Yeah,
this is all against.
Chelsea.
Yeah, this is not for Chelsea. This is against us. So these are goals that he scored against the so-called big teams. The big top 6 teams. And I'm being told by Lukaku stands that this guy is in Lewandowski and Harry Kane. Not Harry Kane, Lewandowski, Harry Kane-ish, Aguero, Suarez level striker. These stats say otherwise. So you telling me out of 5, 9, 12, 17, 20, he scored 21 goals, in 18, 2, 42, 45, 55, 60, in 74, I'll say 70, it's actually more than that, 74, 84. In 90 games, he scored 20 goals against the big teams. That's nearly 100 games. He's nearly played 100 games against the big 6, and he's only scored 20 goals. I'm sorry. That must mean, Pies, that the rest of his goals are against shit teams, right? Or all right, so he might have played you.
Worse than those teams.
Because he only went to Italy from here, didn't he? He's always been in England, and then he's only been in Italy, and then he's come back again. So 20 of his 300 goals have been against big teams. So what's the other 280? Even if you throw another 15 against Juventus, and maybe if you want to throw AC Milan and whoever else in there, which he might have done, I don't know. The rest of his goals are against like just average teams. So I keep saying to people, like, that's good. What are you talking about, Nathaniel? What is good about that?
That's not great. You'd expect him to at least have sort of,
It's not an agenda.
I think the worst one is Spurs and Arsenal, I think. Those are the worst ones. Because you can at least like stat pad against that. They're not that good, are they?
That is atrocious, man. I didn't know it was that bad until you did that. I really didn't think it was that bad. He's too slow and can't control the ball. Loses the lot. Chill, respect flat track trim, respect flat track Tims. For God's sake, go on. Never scores against Juve once too. There you go. He's never even scored against Juve players, not even once. And it says he's been over there. Harry Kane is 26. Just saying. Is that true?
Don't know. I was only looking at Lukaku.
Yeah, I mean, is that
No
true?
idea.
Is that true? But then he's at Spurs, and again, he scores a lot of goals for Spurs as well. So maybe we'll see. Nathaniel says, "What about Italian big teams?" Well, I just said apparently no one scored against Juventus. He's never scored against Juventus, is what someone's just said in the chat. So it's looking peak for him. But in day, I'm not going to sit here and slander Lukaku when we've got a game to speak about. But I wanted to quickly talk about. Christian Pulisic quickly, because when you look at his stats, he scored more goals than Eden Hazard in the Champions League. Now, don't get me wrong, that ain't hard because Eden Hazard was really bad in the Champions League. Much as I love him, and he is the GOAT of Chelsea, probably my favourite Chelsea player ever, he was just really bad in the Champions League. But when you look at our forwards players and you think about being direct and actually being able to finish, do you not feel Christian Pulisic is up there? I'd say probably better than all of them. Mount, Ziyech, Werner, even Lukaku at this rate. Maybe, let's say Havertz to a degree, maybe him and Havertz from the same. But do you not feel that he's our most direct and probably best finisher in front of goal out of the forwards that we've got?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think the problem with Christian Pulisic is just that he's never consistent with his performances, and to get the best out of him is this left position. We've seen him play in the centre here. We've seen him play as a wing back here. I've even seen him as a right back in one game. I'm sure he played as a right back in one game. He's played a lot of positions minus this left position here. When he had played in that left position, he scored goals. You think back to the Liverpool game where we were 2-0 behind at home. Beautiful finish. He has the ability to put the ball in the back of the net. I just feel sometimes we don't play him in play to his strengths. And this is his strengths. Playing him off the left, inside, being able to dribble into space, link up play with Kovacic, who is also a great dribbler as well. I think it works. I think it works massively. And yeah, I think Pulisic, a lot of people thought Pulisic would be one of the players that would leave Chelsea. They think that his time's up. He hasn't got enough, he's not going to be given more time. But I think he's kicking on again along with Havertz. And I'm hoping that him and Havertz can really kick on in the Champions League and get us on and get us top 3 as well. So we'll have to see what happens with him. But when we talk about players going out, obviously, if I was to pick 2 forwards players, I'd probably say Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech. I think they're the 2 that I feel may leave. Not that Hakim Ziyech's been so bad, because he's been decent of recent form. I still feel that Hakim Ziyech's not a Premier League player. How do you feel about that?
No, I'm gonna have to disagree actually. If we play a 4 at the back, no. Overall, I disagree actually.
Tell me why.
I think he's unique. I think when you have a left-footed right-sided attacker, the way he crosses the ball, he's also improved his dribbling a lot. I think just his overall vision is brilliant. Definitely needs to shoot more, but he's definitely got it on him. I just think overall he's a very complete player. I'd like to see him use his weak foot more because he's very left-footed. But yeah, I think you need a type of player like Ziyech in your squad. You can't just have all direct dribblers. Like, you need someone like that who's a bit different. You know what I mean?
I think, like what Matty says here, and I hear what you're saying, but what Matty says here about Pulisic gets bullied off the ball easily, I think Hakim Ziyech's easily bullied off the ball. I think he's very weak. I think if he isn't given time on the ball, then I think he's easy to sort of mark, if that makes sense. I don't think he's able to take a player on, hence why if we play a 4 and we don't have players that can overlap, down that wing. I think he finds it very hard to beat the player in front of him. I just feel he's a very limited player. I actually thought when he first came, I was so excited. I thought, oh my God, this guy is gonna like kick on and give us them vibes. But he hasn't been great in his first season. Second season, he didn't really start off where we had the same role, and it just worked. And the reason it worked is because we played to his strengths, which is playing in the 4. I just feel that in Premier League games that I look at him and I feel that I don't know. I just don't feel him being here long. I don't know. It might be wrong. It might be that he's here forever and he has a really good season at Chelsea for the next couple of years. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of the type of player he is and how we play, like Tuchel's really made it very clear that he don't like playing him in a 3-4-3. He doesn't play him in a 3-4-3. He's very reluctant to do that. And we only seem to play him now when we're playing a 4 at the back. It's just very limited. But then you could say the same on some of the others as well, other than Mason Mount and Kai Havertz for me. But yeah, big up to RD. Goham says, damn, it is the real starting lineup. Tim's starting advantage Middlesbrough is what he says. Pulisic and Werner to go is what, mate. I mean, Werner's a straight up go, isn't he, Pies? He's done, isn't he? He looks mentally shot.
You'd think so, but to be honest with you, I don't really like talking about transfer at the moment because, like, I just want the new owners to come in. Like, I don't know their plans. They could get a German billionaire and Werner starts every game. No, I'm joking, no, but
Pulisic ain't going to be going anywhere if we get American.
Exactly, I was thinking that. Like, he's going to be centre of all the marketing and everything. He's going to be kept, but yeah, I just don't think it makes much sense to me. Like, I keep saying, seeing reports, Rudiger's leaving. Like, Rudiger's not going to decide anything until new owners come in. You know what I mean? Because he could get paid a fat amount from someone if they come in. You know what I mean? Like, he could get what he wants. So people like, Juventus saw earlier some bullshit rumor about Juventus signing Rudiger. That's crap.
I laughed.
Crap.
I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed when that come out because I was like, why the hell would he go there? They're shit anyway. And then the worst one I heard also was Tuchel going Man United. Like, who even thought about that? Like, who would even sit down and go, I'm going to write an article about Tuchel going to Man United with all the problems they've got? Like, what it would even entertain him to even go there? It's just the most dumbest things that come out sometimes. I'm just like, nah, but come on, Jim, it's his birthday. Is it Ziyech's birthday today? Is it? Happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to him. I hope he gets a hat-trick on his birthday. Last year we had Mount, Havertz and Werner starting every game no matter what. It helped us win the Champions League, but trying so many options now, it will cost us in the CL. I don't think we have to try many options. And when we talk about the Champions League, I think the 3 people that should be playing consistently, I don't know about how you feel about it, Pies, but for me it's Havertz, Pulisic and Mount.
Yeah, can't disagree. And also mix Ziyech in there as well, for me personally. Because I think Ziyech in big games is obviously something that, he's good in. So, especially Champions League. He's got a really good record in the Champions League.
I hear you. What about Ruben Loftus-Cheek today? Because he's another one that could potentially find himself, once the new owners are in, not here. I mean, he started off very well. We saw him playing in the 6. I said from the beginning of the season, like, he's not a 6. And then I thought he proved me wrong. And then after a while, he seemed to just struggle with his positional sense there as well. And
today's going to be interesting with him.
Yeah, tell me. Go on.
I just think, obviously, he's going to need help from Mount and Kovacic. Like, he can't be left alone as the lone 6 when Middlesbrough are attacking. But at the same time, like, I think Ruben's more than capable of dropping deep, picking the ball up. I just hope in this position, do not keep the ball for too long. You have to keep it moving. Don't over dribble. Don't take chances because you'll lose the ball. He's got great attributes like his strength, but in that 6 role when you're being pressed, he can't just. The only player I have confidence that could just pick the ball up and dribble past everyone's Kovacic, because I just feel like he has such a low centre of gravity, whereas Ruben's bigger. Yeah, you can use his strength, but personally, I just think. What game was it? The Watford game where every time he over Watford away,
he lost it. Yeah,
he lost it. But every time he got the ball, he took like 2 or 3. Like, he almost froze before picking his next option. When you play in that lone 6, you've got to be so progressive, so snappy, so fast. Constantly move the ball. So I hope he's ready for it because Middlesbrough are going to come at us. This is the thing. Middlesbrough can't remember the last time they've been to Wembley, you know, so their fans probably can't even remember. Like, it's a huge game for them. We've hardly got any fans, so they're going to come at us, bro. He's got to be ready.
100%. I'm trying to see if we can find the Middlesbrough lineup. Just to see how they're setting up. I just want to see how they're planning to come against us, but can't seem to find anything on them. Is that no? I can't find it. I just why can't I find it? There we go. Let's try and see. It must be on their page, isn't it? So yeah, it doesn't say how they're lining up. I mean, I can see the players that are being picked to play, but it doesn't. Balogun's up front. He's shitty, isn't he? I'll say it straight up. That guy he played for Arsenal, and then he had one game where he has an absolute stinker, and then he just left. But yeah, I can see the players, but it doesn't say in terms of how they line up. It'd probably be a 3-5-2 as well. But guys, look, listen, you've heard the news that we brought to you earlier on before we just spoke about the preview in regards to Saudi media. They have put in official bids. We don't specifically 100% know what that bid is. There's also links towards Todd Boehly increasing his bid as well. Plus, there's probably going to be even more stuff we don't even know that are still going to come out over the upcoming days. We've been told that Raine Group are going to be sort of narrowing it down to a couple of individuals coming to Monday morning. We'll see if that happens as well, and we'll see who the nominees are from the X Factor bidders for Chelsea, and who makes it to the next stage. But yeah, I mean, Pies, in terms of this game, just before we finish off, score predictions and who do you feel will have a big game today?
I'm going to go with Pulisic again, actually, for a big game. I feel like Pulisic will have a big game. And score predictions, what did I say yesterday? I was on Lawrence's stream yesterday, I can't actually remember. I think I said 2-0 to Chelsea.
2-0, fair enough.
I do feel that they could score, though, at home. I mean, we're playing a 4, they might score. 2-1. I'm going 2-1.
I'm going with a clean sheet because Thiago Silva's on the pitch. Every time I see Thiago Silva, I don't worry. We've got Mendy in goal as well. So I'm going with a clean sheet. I think we will win. I think it will be 3-0 on this one. I think Mateo Kovacic will have a very good game again. I just can see it. And I agree. I think Christian Pulisic for this one. Do you know what? I'll go Hakim Ziyech. I'll go Hakim Ziyech to score 1. I'll go with Christian Pulisic to score 1. And then I'll go with a Thiago Silva header. There you go. 3-0 Chelsea is what I'm predicting. What the guys saying in the chat as well. 3-0s, 2-0s, 2-0s. Sama State getting them a goal is what Oros is saying. Please don't. Defensive. Moves are very defensive. I feel we will lose today. Why? Because we won't be able to break them down. We're going to have to do that. It's only Middlesbrough. We should still be good enough to beat them. But yeah, guys, still over 180 views here. Thank you for tuning in as always. Pies for the second day in a row is here. It's been here breaking some news for you guys as well. Pies, any more final words before we go into what will be a very busy next week for you and for Chelsea fans?
Yeah, just look out for the news. Yeah, just take things with a pinch of salt. Try and trust reliable sources. Yeah, just hopefully we win today. I'm looking forward to the game. Semi-final, we could be going to Wembley again. So yeah, hopefully it all gets sorted soon, bro, because it's a nightmare at the moment. There's a lot of speculation, and I think it would just be good to get it resolved, even know who's going to take over if it's not officially announced. Just at least have an idea, you know.
The only great thing I would say at the moment, with everything going on, we're not playing great, but we're winning, aren't we? We're on a bit of a run at the moment, aren't we?
I like Jorginho's quote as well. He kind of said, like, I feel something special's happening with this group now, that everything's going on. You know, the team's getting even closer. So I like this siege mentality that's happening from the squad. You know, it's like us against the world. Chelsea do well against chaos. You know, it's been a historic thing with us. So Yeah. Let's see.
So Nizar just came out just before we leave saying that just 600 Chelsea fans in today because of the restrictions. 600 pies. That is.
You ain't going to hear us today. It's going to be a horrible game. I got a feeling they're just going to be every throw in just up for it. Oh, it's going to be a nightmare.
We're literally not going to hear anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, 600 Chelsea fans will probably still have it out. Do you know what I mean? Where they will be singing to the top of their lungs and probably have sore throats at the end of it as well. But, you know, they've definitely got a job on their hands to try and make themselves heard, because I think the Middlesbrough guys will get behind their team. Like you said, it'll be like an away game with no fans, but they have fans. It's like weird, isn't it? But only Chelsea could get themselves into this position, as they say. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. I won't be back later on because I'm out. So maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then I will be back Monday for that news. If we hear it break from Raine Group and anything to do with the bids that go on this week, into next week, we will be discussing. I'm sure Piers, if he's free, will jump in and share it with you as well if there's anything that needs to be discussed. And Piers, we will do a show actually when we actually have the new owners. It'll be good to actually discuss them, talk about them. Do you know what I mean? Talk about them.
Yeah, I might do a write up on my website. I did a piece on the potential new owners. I might do one for the actual owner, which would be interesting because I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed like going into online, finding about how they came up, their career and stuff. It's quite interesting learning about new people.
100%. Wasted, did you talk about your Turkish guy being a fraud? Trust me, we did.
Musin.
he was, yeah. I don't know what to say. What do you want me to say? It's typical Turkey, isn't it? Flopping at the first rounds. Same with the Euros, and the same now with the bids. Giving it all a big one and then blimmin' flopped on their asses. What else can we say? But it is what it is, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Big up to RDCs, big up Jim and Pliers, big up to you, my guy. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you subscribe before you leave. Smash the like button as well. Get these likes over 100 for the channel. And yeah, what else was I going to say? Yeah, have a good day. See you later on, guys. Hopefully Chelsea win. Up the Chelsea, and we'll see you later on. Peace out.